without a sat nav, and I don't know where I am. Hello everybody, my name is Jack Watson, and welcome again to my YouTube channel, All Blood and Sweat. Today I want to look at, this is my daily driver, it's my 2013 Porsche Cayman 981. It's got a 3.4 litre 6-cylinder engine. As I said, it's my daily driver. I've owned this car for almost 6 months now, and yeah, I use it to go to work every day. I do long miles visiting sort of friends and family at the weekends, and I'm stacking up the miles on this car very quickly, but I love it to death, so I just wanted to do a video on it to show it in all its glory, really. I'm going to go around the exterior design, the interior design, or just some of the features of the car. The Cayman originally started off as a plea from Porsche marketing to sell more Boxsters. Or what's a good way to do it? Let's put a roof on it, and then you've got basically a small mid-engine sports car. So it's a different offering from the 911. It started off with the 987 in, when was that? 2004, I think, it came out. And that was a very successful car, actually, super successful for the brand. And this is the second generation, so it's the 981. It was heavily refreshed with slightly longer wheelbase, wider track, a little bit lower. It's like 11mm lower than the 987. I'd say it's like, I researched this before, it's 11mm lower. I know exactly how much lower it is. The exterior design, as we can see, is like, I mean, I'm going to be heavily biased because, like I said, it's my daily car, but I think the exterior design of this car is amazing. I mean, this car itself is 11 years old now, and the model came out 12 years ago. In 2012, the 981 came out, and you just look at it and, like, you know, I've had colleagues that say, oh, it looks like it could be it looks like it could be like a new car, essentially. Like, it looks like it could be a modern Porsche, and I completely agree. Like, you look over the whole design of the car, and I don't want to say it's as timeless as a 911, but God, it's up there. Like, yeah, it's amazing. Look at those side intakes. We have this rule in car design. It's an old school rule of like 3 lines. It's kind of silhouette, belt line, baseline, or like rocker. And yeah, I mean, this car kind of says it all, really. I mean, you could argue there's a couple you might want to remove. You might want to remove that one, but there's not much more you take off, really. And in my opinion, like, with good car design from an exterior perspective, like, which Porsche has always been amazing at, it's like, how do you manage your shut lines? And this car has like really well managed shut lines, especially, and there's no better way to show it than having a white version of the car as well, where it's like, you know, all the shut lines are really well managed through the bodywork, so they're not cutting through sort of awkward areas or awkward surfaces. There is one car that they kind of mess it up on a little bit, which is the 911 Cabriolet. And I think it's on the 991, maybe the 992, where like the shot line goes right through the bulbous rear wheel arch, and you can see, like, when you look down on it, the shot line kind of like moves around a little bit. Super nerdy thing to be getting into. From a chassis perspective as well, like, people go, oh, isn't it just a Boxster with a roof? Well, no, because it's actually almost exactly twice as rigid as a Boxster. Dynamically, it's a different car. I don't even know how much the Boxster weighs. This weighs 1,350 kilos, which is nothing. I think my Mark 1 TT that I've also got is about a similar sort of weight. So, yeah, and the horsepower-wise, this has 325 horsepower in this one. Because it's, like I said, it's the Cayman S, so it's a little bit more pokey, and you do notice it. This car also has the controversial electronically assisted steering. It was like one of the first models they brought it in with Porsche. Also, Porsche, I don't really care. Say it like dealer's choice. Say it as you like, to be honest with you. As it comes out, it doesn't really matter. Yeah, the electronically assisted steering was, some people don't like it. I think it gives it more of like a bit more of a relaxed feel. It's a bit heavier at slow speeds. That's what some people say, but honestly, like I said, I've had this car 6 months. You don't really notice it. I test drove a 718 and I test drove this on the same day, and just dynamically, viscerally, sort of sound and engine response and everything, like, this was a no-brainer for me. I had to get the 6-cylinder 981 over the 4-cylinder 718. It's like a sports car, but it's also a GT car. It has so much luggage space. It's unreal. I'm going to go into a demonstration of that in a second. I mean, just sort of Is there anything else I can say about the exterior design? Super clean, super perfect. Got the classic sort of fuel filler on the front. Very classic Porsche. It's got the 5-spoke wheels, which look kind of like a modern version of the Fuchs, but proportionally working with the car. Only 19 inches on this one, which to me is actually quite good. I quite like having a lot of rubber on my wheels because it feels a bit more comfy when you're, especially as a daily driver, when you're running it around town or speed bumps and potholes. I mean, English roads are just awful, so having a little bit of extra sidewall actually helps, in my opinion. The rear end of the car is like such a clean design as well. Like we've got the sort of the lamps sitting on either side, and we've got this feature line which inside the lamp is an element of chrome and the indicator that then that feature then rolls into the spoiler. And the spoiler, like if you see any Cayman drivers with the spoiler deployed at road speeds going around town, they're trying a bit too hard, in my opinion. The spoiler should always be down. It looks so much cleaner. Like the whole silhouette. I mean, the benefit of having the slightly longer car compared to the 987, then it's 33mm shorter overall than this one, and it just like that plus being lower, like you elongate the surfaces a little bit, and so you just get like this like nice swooping line over the whole car down the rear window and flicking off the spoiler. If you run around with the spoiler up, you can just see all the gubbins underneath. The problem with the Caymans is these spoilers never align. Like when I got this one, I got it realigned 50 times, and then every time you go over 80 miles an hour, it deploys. So it's just never going to be perfectly aligned, unfortunately. The rear end's so clean. You've got a nice like bulbous, simple sculptural form cut with the plate, and then you've got a nice central exhaust in the middle. The S has the twin pipes. I think the standard 2.8 litre has the single pipe, which is funny. Like you almost think they should be the other way around, but it kind of works. In my opinion as well, like people want to, you see a lot of Porsches that are sort of customized. I don't love car customization in general in terms of like how over the top it can be. You know, when you see like Polos that are heavily, or MX-5s, heavily cambered wheels and stance with spacers and stuff. Like I don't really care. I mean, each to their own. It's your car, it's your money. You do what you want with it. But I don't like it. I think it's fine for people to express themselves through their car. Like with this one, I wanted to paint it like an ivory beige color. I wind up my friends all the time by saying that like everything should be like beige, different shades of beige and stuff. And I really wanted to actually like, and I call it cosmic ivory because I'm an idiot. So I wanted to make this car like ivory with a cream roundel on the side and cream wheels and just go just really subtly stupid, but in a way that is like unequivocally like myself. And then I realized how expensive it would be, so it's still white and black. Right. Let's go through the interior design a little bit, shall we? The interior design for this car is super clean, and I mean it's clean in here as well because I did get it cleaned for this video because, like I said, I do daily this car, so gets a bit messy, let's say. Yeah, it's probably when you daily something you don't really, I don't know, maybe it's just me. Sometimes you get blind to it, you know. But as I said earlier, the interior design was basically from the 987 is fine. There's a lot of 986 Boxster in that car, but then the 981 they took loads of elements from the 991, 911. So like you've got sort of like almost identical door to the 991, 911. You've got the same seats. They're ridiculously comfortable. Like I said, with this being a GT car, you can drive this car. I mean, I've been in it 5 hours one day, and it's fine. Like it can get a little bit meh in the lower back, but honestly, it's mostly great. And yes, you are missing the 2 rear seats from a 911, but you've got 2 boots rather than having an engine in one of your boots. You've got 2 boots, and I'll show you how much this car can carry as a GT car. You've got the classic Porsche coasters. They're really cool. Such a nice little feature. I mean, Porsche obviously like invented this feature and was like, oh my god, let's put that in everything. So it's in everything from I think even the 992 has the same part. So very economical on their side. And it's really good looking. This is not the 981 steering wheel. This is basically a 718. I don't know exactly what the steering wheel is because I didn't put it in. But it's a 718-esque Boxster one, but the 718 steering wheel has like the controls on the steering wheel. This one doesn't. It basically, you just have the paddles behind here, but then all the controls are still on the stalks, which I actually really like. I like having the controls on the stalks. I like having the steering wheel be really clean and empty. It's like devoid of screens and design, like over-designed elements, you know? I mean, like from a screen perspective, let's talk about it. We've got the rev counter in the middle, very classic Porsche. We've got the speedo on the side, which I don't want to say I don't use because I speed, because I don't, because I use it every day. It's like there's no point. Like you don't really need to, but to get the frills out of it. But it's also got a digital readout underneath the rev counter in the middle, so you use that more than you actually would use the physical speedo. I don't think I've ever really looked at the physical speedo, to be honest. It's kind of a wasted side of it. And underneath that it shows how many miles this car's done, which is it's okay. I think Porsche's is one of the only brands where it's acceptable to do stupid amounts of miles in it. You know, it's like a symbol of pride. Like Ferrari owners like, oh, I've got 7 delivery miles on my car, and you're like, cool, mate. Porsche drivers like, it's 85 now. I bought it at 72. I would love, so I put over what's the math on that? 13,000 in 6 months. I can see myself going over 100,000 miles on this car easily. I also prefer the interior design to this one over the 718, just from a dashboard perspective, because the vents are like more integrated into the form of the dashboard, whereas the 718, you have these like bulbous sort of half like semicircle things. If they were full circles, it would look like a TT. So they went like, okay, well, let's have like a semicircle with like the same shape underneath this one, but it has a circle on top, which I assume means it's probably in the same dashboard molding, but just the vent itself sticks up a little bit more. Other than the side screens here, on the right hand side you've got the classic Porsche one that flicks through all the modes, and you've got all your engine status, which I'll show you now. And it's great when you're driving, you can just make sure everything's up to temperature before you ever take it out of auto. Don't know why I didn't mention this earlier. It's the PDK option, which in my opinion is the best option if you're driving this car like doing motorway miles or dailying it to work in the rubbish traffic. Like, it's so comfortable. Like, I love this gearbox so much. Like, I've driven sort of Tiptronic or some of the other like single clutch automatics and stuff, and they're a bit painful, let's say, but this PDK basically stands for like Porsche double clutch, if you want to loosely translate it really poorly like I just did. But it's fantastic. Like, it pre-selects a gear for you. If you kick down in automatic, regardless of sport mode or not, it will sort of find the lowest available gear for you. It's great. It's idiot proof, really, which is good for me because I'm an idiot. Then yeah, you've got like sport mode, traction control, spoiler button, and start stops. Because this car is 11 years old, it's got an old infotainment system with radio and aux and CD player and stuff in it, and it's not the best. Like, you can retrofit CarPlay into here. I've thought about it, but I mean, I've got like a MagSafe phone holder, which is fine. I used to use one of the cup holders as like a phone holder for like long distance when I needed like a sat nav. One thing in my opinion, you need as a Porsche owner is a steering lock, because I mean it's no Range Rover, so people aren't really going to be able to steal it that easily. But there's always a risk, and it's just, you know, why take it? What else can I say about the interior of the car? Like I said, super comfy, great for 2 people on long journeys, and enough luggage space for 2 people. The doors also have these cool little side pockets. Those are storage here. Got my sunnies, speakers, all this kind of stuff. The old school like auto light thing, and you can like flip it on and stuff. Yeah, that's probably about it, really. Yeah, you also got like a little central stowage, but it's rarely used. It's more like an armrest, really. And you've got these 2 little slots at the back, just either side of the engine, which you can put stuff in. And then you've got little buttons here for opening the front and rear boot. So I'll show you now how much luggage space there is in one of these cars. luggage space. Oh god, I left the key in the car. Thankfully, it does lock itself, but not too quickly, and I'm using my spare key, so worst case scenario is another one in the house. Anyway, also, we need to talk about the key design. Maybe I'll talk about that separately, but it's like kitsch might be the right word for it. Gimmicky and kitsch. I just think it's not a very, I don't know. Who wants a car key that looks like a mini version of a Panamera? It's not even the proportions are wrong for a 911, so it's like, do you want a mini Panamera for your car key that you then have to put I put my little model car into the dashboard to get it started? It's a bit weird. All right, frunk is big enough that you can actually fit a massive suitcase in it. So look, talk about this being a GT car. Excuse me. I have got this in here before. Oh my god. First time, like a glove. There you go. That works great. So you can fit one big suitcase in the front, and there's still enough room for a sandwich or something in there. Then we'll go to the back. I've got 2 umbrellas in my car. Shows I live in England, doesn't it? Right, so in the back, you've got enough space for a cabin bag. So basically enough stuff to go away for a couple of weeks somewhere. And you've got space either side of the cabin bag for other bits and bobs. You can fit more than a sandwich next to the cabin bag, which is good. And here's the glorious engine. That's one thing about a Porsche, like you can't be too picky about, I want to see my engine, and you can't be like at a car show expecting to show it off, because at best you can see the fuel filler. Not fuel filler, sorry. Don't put fuel in there, that's oil. And what's in this one? Radiator. Fluid, liquid, whatever you want to call it. Let's do a little startup, shall we? I'm not going to put the speaker, the microphone directly on the exhaust, I'm just going to put it on the back of the car. Okay, let's go for a drive. Safety first. Right. While we're warming up and while we're warming the car, I mean, like, I just done a cold start and it's 46 degrees C. Oh, I suppose I can talk about some annoying things first. No, let's talk about spec stuff first. I'll get into annoying stuff afterwards. Yeah, the journalists of the time say that because of its mid-engine layout and the fact that it's got the same engine and running gear as the 991, 911, it's like one of the best handling mid-engine sports cars around. And obviously I'm biased, but I agree. Like I love this thing so much. Like I just feel like it's so easy to place it where you want it to go. And once you've driven it for 6 months like I have, like, you know the gaps you can fit through, you know the corners you can take at roughly what speeds. While it's warming up now, I'm just sitting in PDK automatic mode. The temperature's climbing up, and yeah, it's really comfortable. I'll just start with a couple of things that do bug me about it. It can be a little bit squeaky and noisy, but I mean, it's a sports car, right? So they are squeaky and noisy. The brakes squeak, the interior is a little bit like, you know, it sounds like there's like a mouse hiding somewhere, because if somebody's been in the passenger seat, the seat belt will like tap against the sort of molding colour plastic behind it, and it'll do a lot of this sort of thing when you're kind of moving around, which So you just have to like, if somebody's been in it before, you have to reach over and you have to like move the seatbelt all the way down so that it minimizes that basically. Roads are busy. It's fine. The electronic handbrake is so annoying. I hate it. Like, I mean, I understand there's not a lot of packaging space here. Like, you don't want to have like a T-Rex arm trying to get to a little manual handbrake. I mean, you could have like what car is it? Where like there's like a handbrake like on the sill. Like you could have that, but this electronic one, oh my god, it's very temperamental. Let's say like mine is. The calibration was massively out. There was issues with it all the time. It's very frustrating. Okay, this car does actually have a top speed of 175 miles an hour, but like, who is driving it that fast? I mean, I get it if you're on the Autobahn, fine. In Germany, I lived in Germany for 5 years actually. I use the Autobahn. It's not that fun. It's really busy. It's full of Mercedes and Audis just flying down at 130 miles an hour. It's fine. It feels arguably safer than an English motorway, to be honest with you. For me, like a nice driving experience is more about acceleration. Like I wanna know that if when the car's warm, it's in sport mode or manual. Like if I hit the accelerator, it's going to react like instantly. There's not going to be a lag or anything. And being naturally aspirated as well. Like this car definitely has like quite a very visceral and satisfying sound when it picks up. Like having those air intakes by your kidneys is hard to beat. That sort of intake noise and that kind of feeling when you're going along, like it's so good. I've got to stop saying in all my videos. I apologise for the amount of times I say The fuel economy on this car is actually great. Like when I'm doing long motorway miles, which I do quite often, I can get 30 miles to the gallon, 28 to 30. In sport mode, smashing it around, it's still 25, 26, maybe 23 if I'm really hooning it. But yeah, generally it's really good. And it's better than the 718 because the 718, having the smaller engine, has to compensate a little bit more, in my opinion, and therefore uses more fuel. Like I'm still warming the car up and I'm sat at 1200 RPM in 6th gear going 32 miles an hour. Like it's not stressed at all. It's so relaxed. It's like Usain Bolt going for a walk to the corner shop, you know? Right, I'm going to turn onto a nice little local road. The handling of this car, like, so before this, well, I've still got it, a Mark 1 Audi TT, 4-wheel drive. This is my first ever rear-wheel drive car. So before my Audi TT, in Germany I used to have a Suzuki Jimny, the new shape one. So it's just like a 4-wheel drive. And then I had like Clios and all sorts of random stuff that was just either 4-wheel drive or 2-wheel drive, to be honest. So yeah, this is my first rear-wheel drive car, and it's, I get the hype. It's fun, right? It's very satisfying. You point it in the direction you want to go and it goes. You can kick the tail out. I understand people like Chris Harris can do it intentionally. I'm not that skilled of a driver to do it intentionally. I've done it accidentally a few times, and one of the things with like a Porsche, like owning a Porsche does not make you a good driver. It does fill you with confidence and it's comfortable compared to like something Italian, but it still, like, if you mess up, it will catch you, and you know you can essentially you can throw it into a corner. It will skid, and then the car will catch you. The systems will come on, the traction control will come on, and it will be like no. It's almost like a mother sort of stopping, or a parent stopping their child from hitting their head all the time. Like, it humbles you, you know? You're like, oh, okay, I'm not that good of a driver, you know? Right, so the car's warm, pop into sport. Going onto a motorway. And as well, like, even in auto mode, you can pop it down a gear. I find it really hard to, like, generally big Jumeirah at this cost, at this like price range. Like it doesn't have a lot of competition, in my opinion. It's just so enjoyable and so easy to drive, so comfortable, so accessible. And at the moment, these cars are so cheap. Like this one is circa just under £30,000, let's say. People love to hate on the Cayman, saying that it's like for people that can't afford a 911, and there's a certain level of accuracy to that. But you also get, in this one, for example, you get so many elements of the 991 911 that you're getting a lot of bang for the buck. Like it isn't in the same price range, they're right, but you get a lot of car for your money. Like it's fantastic. And also, I think it's different tools for different jobs, right? It's like a 911 is one thing and a Cayman is another. It's like me and my brother have the same ingredients, but we're very different people. I'm lost. I'm doing this without a sat nav, and I don't know where I am. I'm going to find a nice road and I'm going to put it to manual. It's in sport mode at the moment. You should be able to hear it really. This way, I think, is the way I want. Roadworks. Speed bumps. Oh. England. Alright? About owning a Porsche in general, and like especially like a Cayman S like this, is that it's like owning a thoroughbred dog, like an athletic beast. Like occasionally you have to stretch its legs, you know, you have to take it out, you have to let it off the lead, and you have to go like, go boy, go, and hopefully it will come back and it'll still love you at the end of it. But that's kind of the feeling I get with this. Like, it's great if you want it in automatic mode and you're just cruising to work and back, and then occasionally you just have to pop it into manual and let it go through the rev range, because it very rarely in automatic, very rarely, unless you're overtaking someone on a country road and you need to like kick down into second, it very rarely tips into the sort of even 5,000 RPM range, and it's got 7,500, and occasionally it needs to use it, you know. It's like anyone, like you need to exercise. Like exercise is good for you. It makes you live longer. It's the same with a car. Like it has, especially a sports car, you have to do it. It's like the other guys, like, you know, I'm a peacock, you gotta let me fly. It's the same thing. Marky Mark gets it. Alright, I'm going to hit this roundabout down here and then turn around and go back. One thing you do realise with Porsche ownership as well, especially when it's a bright white one, and it, like I said, it looks new, but it's not. It's 10, 11 years old. It's an older car by anyone's standards. But a lot of people, most car people like it. It's very Marmite with other drivers in the sense that they, come on. Do it. I've got a very, it's a horse fan, I feel bad. Yeah, so let me finish my point. It's very Marmite in the sense that like other drivers will either be really nice and they'll let you go from, like if you're waiting to pull in somewhere, they'll be like, oh yeah, please go. Whether that's they like a car or they're just nice people, I don't know what it is. But you do notice that there's a noticeable amount of people that will cut you up, they'll race you, they will deliberately not let you in when like you're clearly just sort of chilling, waiting to go into a junction, for example. I love this car. If circumstances allow, I would never sell this car. That shift down noise is hard to beat as well. Subtly just like pop into sport, next straight, I know the roads relatively well, next straight, indicate, slam on the accelerator to overtake this car as quickly as possible, and suddenly my mum just like stopped talking, just sort of almost like looking for things to hold on to. When I was learning to drive, like she would just, she would be one of those parents that would always like grab the edge of the seat or the grab handle, like whatever was nearby, she'd just be like, and you're going the speed limit. I'm still going the speed limit, and she's like grabbing hold of stuff. So guys, that's the review of my daily driver, my Porsche Cayman S 981 3.4 litre 6-cylinder. You know the spec, I said it at the start. If you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe. Even if you didn't enjoy the video, share it with your friends and family, share it with random people on the street, walk up to them like, have you heard of this guy? They'll be like, no, leave me alone, you weirdo. Just, it doesn't matter. Let's get the word out there. Trying to grow this channel, I'm learning. I'm still learning how to act, how to not act, show my own personality, how to act in front of the camera, if you know what I mean. Trying to show enough personality without getting cancelled or arrested. So yeah, let's build this together, shall we? Thank you very much. That is one cute dog in the back of that car in front. He's looking at me. Hello, buddy.